Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna take a look at another aspect of the swamp slime forms. So as we know, the brown mushroom is really the perfect block for those type of forms because they provide light level 0 and don't prevent any mobs from spawning. But let's also take a look at the alternatives. So it's possible to make those swamp slime forms since 1.18. Some people already in December also made farms like this one here, and back then even also suggested alternatives. So there are two other blocks that mobs wouldn't collide with and provide a low light level, the redstone torch and the glow lichen, or lichen if you like the American pronunciation. So both the glow lichen and the redstone torch would provide light level 7. The glow lichen is a bit better than the redstone torch because mobs can't spawn inside of a redstone torch, similar to other redstone components like rails or redstone dust. So glow lichen a tiny bit better. And of course, you would need to place down a glow lichen or a redstone torch on every single block. You could have gaps in between. So I tried around a little bit. I'm quite sure this is probably the ideal placement of glow lichen to have the lowest light levels possible while still at least having light level 1 everywhere. So last time we already checked what would happen if you would have a glow lichen on every single block. So we would have light level 7. Slimes could still spawn in there, but they would actually spawn 7 times slower than with the mushroom pattern. So this is definitely not recommended. Today we're gonna test this optimized pattern as well and see how much mob spawning we could get there. Also, I'm gonna mention it now. There's another strategy you could follow with the glow lichen. Instead of putting it on the floor, you could also put it in the ceiling. Or with any other light block, you could even go up a couple blocks higher and do the same with sea lanterns or glowstone blocks and have a light level of 1 as well. But there's two downsides of this. So in case you have a 1 layered form, it's of course okay. But if a 2 or 3 layered form, yeah, then you're already running out of space really doing this. And a second downside is you also would need to build the farm higher, and the higher we build, the lower the spawning rate, so usually for our mob farms. So this is just the way the spawning algorithm works. Spawning algorithm selects a block between the lowest block and the highest block randomly. In case you have around 130 blocks available to spawn in between, so have a 1 in 130 chance that the spawning algorithm would select the right block, so the platform in your farm. Now, if you would move the ceiling higher, then the spawning algorithm could also choose one of those couple blocks here in between. So instead of having a 1 in 130 chance, we would have a 1 in 135 chance instead. And the rates would be slightly lower. So that's why this is not ideal, but actually not that bad comparatively. Okay, now let's quickly do the test of the optimized glow lichen pattern. So we'll have slime spawning on 2 platforms. The slimes are being killed immediately, and the slime ball items are teleported down to a hopper where we use the carpet counter here to count them. So I'm gonna do a tick warp over 8 Minecraft days, and then we'll have the average amount of items we would get in this time frame. And then we're gonna do the same test with the brown mushrooms. Alright, we actually got 22,000 items per hour. Okay, now let's do the same test just with the brown mushrooms. And here's the comparison with the brown mushrooms now. We're getting about 30,800. So the glow lichen pattern is about 28.5% slower than the brown mushrooms. It's actually not that much. Expected more for difference. As I've already explained, there would also be a slight difference between redstone torches and glow lichen. So in case you wouldn't have access to glow lichen, for example, but have redstone dust, then you could use those as well. So the difference would definitely be minimal. Okay, there's another actually advantage of using redstone torches or glow lichen, which is that they don't need full blocks to be placed on. So you couldn't place the brown mushrooms on just slabs. You always need a full block for this to work. Okay, and that means we could actually build a glow lichen based slime farm, with layers every 3 blocks instead of every 4, like with the brown mushroom. So we have the layers from 50 to 69 available for the slime spawning in the swamp, and that means we can either put 7 layers in if you use the slabs and the glow lichen, the redstone torches, or 5 layers with the brown mushrooms. Okay, now let's actually also test the glow lichen again with an actual form and see the rates. So I'm using here a quite similar concept like in the previous video. Just adjusted a little bit for the tutorial video. Actually just made a square form, but the tracking range for the iron golems is actually 16 blocks. I used mini hut to create a nice 16 block radius circle around the iron golem, and this is basically the optimized pattern, so we can get the maximum of spawning spaces for a single golem or golem per layer. Okay, so the plan is also now to run this farm for, again, 160 minutes or 8 Minecraft days. Okay, almost there, 157 minutes. Just maybe one note here on the killing system. So we're using the campfires here to kill the slimes really as quickly as possible, so they wouldn't fill up the mob cap entirely. As you can see, we're mostly at around, it's actually right now a full moon phase. Yeah, it's actually the mob cap is getting filled sometimes, but mostly around 30 to 40. Okay. 16,000 slime balls per hour with the 7-layered glow lichen farm. Okay, then yeah, let's compare it with the brown mushroom. Alright, so let's have a look. So we're slightly higher in terms of slime balls per hour. We're at 16,700 per hour. So despite only having 5 layers, this type of farm for the brown mushrooms is still faster. So in case you actually want to use this 5-layered design, I will provide a litematic in the video description, but there's one downside of actually using 5 layers is that you have to dig a little bit. So I actually pasted it in a normal survival world here, and you also need to spend a little bit of time on spawn proofing the area around. So I'm using the despawn sphere again from the mini hut mod. And yeah, so the ideal AFK position above the farm would be, let's take a look at it again, Y175 directly above. And this would be the despawn sphere, so you would need to spend some time lighting up the area around it or dig it away. And you could also be unlucky and actually have caves around. In this case, I checked already, there's no cave below. Most of the caves are filled with water anyway. So actually getting away by just doing some torching on the outside area, and this farm would work 100%. Okay, but it's also, as I showed in the previous video, another good option to just make the farm wider and stick to 1 layer. On the other hand, a 2-layer farm like this one here might be ideal for you, but still doesn't require any digging, and the killing system is also slightly changed. So instead of using the faster campfire killing system, got a tip from the white eye. We can also just use magma blocks down at the bottom. This still kills the mob quick enough for the 2-layer design. So that's especially simple because it technically doesn't require a single hopper. All the items will just get flushed towards the middle. And then, yeah, here we're using a hopper to collect the items, but you could have another water stream at the bottom. So you just need a wall here to prevent the small slimes from falling in. I also test the rates for this type of farm, so we're getting 7,300 slime balls per hour. And I even made a glow lichen design as well. This one has the same floors like the brown mushroom farm design. So the idea is that you maybe start with this one here and just place the glow lichen like here in the world download, and then upgrade later to a brown mushroom farm if you want to. And if you start out with the glow lichen, you're getting 4,800 items per hour. So in case you want the 2-layer design, you probably also want to know where the AFK spot is. So it's actually quite simple. You just need to look at this block here, so this would be at Y61, and then go up, let's say 125 blocks that have a little bit of leeway. So the AFK spot at 186 would be ideal. Alright, so yeah, as it turns out, glow lichen has an advantage that it's bit less effort to build, but obviously it's slower. The mushroom is really the perfect block for those types of farms. Okay, you will find all the litematics in the description in case you have interest in building one of those farms, but that's it for today. Thanks guys for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.